Okay. Yes. So, Mr. Money, right?
Money, yes. You can. My full name is Manivanna RJ. You can call me
Right.
Mani. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Money, welcome to Counsel India Present
Yes.
Mental Health Talk Show.
Yeah. Thank you. Good evening.
Yeah. Very good
So,
evening. Mr. Money, right?
Money, yes. You can. My full name is Manivanna RJ.
So, in this particular talk show, we're gonna know from your experience related to anxiety, and also I'm very excited to when I saw your profile where you have done some management major courses, you have done major in
Yes.
psychology as well.
Yes.
So you have very big. You have also written some books, right? So a lot of things you
Yes.
have done. So
Yes.
how
Yes.
you're managing all those things?
Uh, Basically, it's a passion towards human behaviors and human science. It's actually fundamentally stemming from the spirituality. Okay.
Okay.
So I did my master's in 2010, and then 2012 I had completed also MBA HR because it's more related. So I just wanted to have an extensive knowledge in psychology as well as it
Hmm.
how it is applied in industrial areas too. Because mine is MSc Advanced Applied Psychology, so I can apply psychology in any field.
Hmm.
So finally, I landed in applying psychology in health and clinical picture.
Sounds good.
So
Sounds good.
yeah, so that is the passionate things for me. So I just completed my postgraduate diploma in CBT and also diploma in hypnotherapy as well, and postgraduate diploma in mental well-being and also applied modern applied psychology.
Okay.
So this is my sphere, and I have authored around 8 books so far with respect to IAS, civil services section and banking section, and psychology. For 2 books I have written it. Those 2 books are for UGC net standards.
Okay.
And I'm also giving my lectures and teaching in something called Spandana Neuroscience in Bangalore.
Hmm.
It's a psychiatric hospital. It's a inpatient hospital. So there I take classes for behavioral sciences in
Hmm.
psychology for the nurses. And also I'm an editor for national magazine called Kiran Prakashan. I'm in the section of banking. So my secret of success is I'm applying psychology.
Right. Right.
Yes.
And Mr. Money, I know you also have noticed this thing. In psychology field, there are very few men who are working, right? So people say
Yes.
psychology is a female dominated field. So how did you come to know in psychology, like how you reached here? What triggered you to be in psychology and help people?
Yeah. See, when I took up my civil service examination in 2005, at that time we had optional subjects in civil
Hmm.
service. So I had taken 2 optionals. One is psychology, another is public administration. You know that for civil service examination, it crosses all the boundaries of syllabus. So
Right.
the exam pattern is like that. So I read almost all the books, whatever were recommended, all the textbooks. So it gave me an extensive idea about human behavior and the problems what our human race is facing.
Hmm.
So the main problem is we just stuck up in our mind
Right.
because of false beliefs and false perceptions. Just one thorn,
Hmm.
just it spoils entire life. So I just thought of that. Why not removing that one thorn? So if you're able to do that, then most of the people will be happy. So obviously, when people around us happy because of us, then it's a super excitement. You will be happy definitely, right?
Right. 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 So from there, you decided, yes, that you wanna work in psychology. You're gonna help people. So
Yes.
also tell us what kind of patients you're looking nowadays, and what kind of problems people are facing in psychology.
So, since I have also done diploma in psychiatry also,
Mm-hmm.
so I handle all kinds of problems. It's starting from normal stress and even relationship issue at the bottom, and also it goes into anxiety disorders and personality disorders, mood disorders. I have even handled successfully schizophrenia patients too.
Yeah.
So two of my primary patients, they are really doing well now. One of the patients, he was actually having severe. That means it's a dominant schizophrenia he had. So proper paranoia, auditory hallucinations. Now he is properly going to a job, and that too in marketing field, and he's doing good. We met yesterday. We had a cup of tea, and that's a happy ending for him.
Very nice.
Yes.
Well, a big gratitude for you that you are helping, literally, you are helping people. And of course, schizophrenia is one of the major challenge
Yes,
nowadays in
challenging.
psychiatry,
Yes.
psychology field. Yeah. Okay. So now let's talk about the topic that we have chosen for today,
Yeah.
anxiety,
Yeah.
management of anxiety. So before understanding the management of anxiety, we would like to understand what anxiety is, because people have heard this word anxiety in a
Yeah.
very normal layman term, but what actually it means, how it is different from stress. So would you like to tell us more in detail about anxiety?
Oh, sure. Definitely. Definitely. See, maybe around 10 years before, most of the people used to use this term called stress management, how to live without stress. And this decade, people are talking about anxiety, how to
Right.
manage anxiety, how to treat anxiety.
Especially from this COVID thing, COVID anxiety.
Exactly, yeah, definitely. So it's a paradigm shift, like so. But definitely, every problem starts with stress. There is a stress in the body and mind. When there is excess stress in the mind, then it leads to anxiety, definitely. Okay, so there is when, see, stress is nothing but when we cross the limit of our body and mind, when there is certain limits to body and mind, when we cross the limit and when we stretch ourselves too much, then it becomes stress, accumulated stress. It causes severe anxiety, but basically anxiety is very normal phenomenon.
Okay.
So we can classify anxiety into two categories, like it is like normal anxiety and pathological anxiety.
Okay.
So anxiety is basically normal. Anxiety is nothing but psychological. I can tell you in two ways: psychologically and psychiatrically.
Okay.
Psychologically is nothing but if there is a threat or danger, when we perceive something is threat or danger, then the anxiety is getting triggered.
Okay.
Usually it comes from the portion called amygdala from the brain.
Mm-hmm.
So it perceives is there is some danger or some threat is there. But practically talking, anxiety is nothing but whenever an individual meets an uncertain condition, something is uncertain. You're
Mm-hmm.
not able to find out what will happen. There are two ends. For example, if a person is sitting outside the interview hall and he's going to enter into the interview hall next they are going to call his name. So now anxiety starts sparking. Why? Because now he will start projecting the thoughts that what will happen? Will I answer right or wrong? Duality. Will they give
Right.
me job or not? Will I impress them or not? Duality. But he does not know that which will be the outcome. When there is an uncertainty, he starts getting anxiety. So this is normal anxiety. Everybody have this is perpetual. It's healthy and it should we should have it. But when we call something as anxiety disorder, then it means that it is excess. That means it's over the brim. It is just going above the neck. It means that very simple. When we call anxiety disorder, when we add the word disorder, it means that from the normal phenomenon, people are adding lots of imaginations or false perceptions
Mm-hmm.
or wrong beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
On that, they develop few uncertainties or they perceive danger. Because of that, it becomes anxiety disorder. So when it becomes anxiety disorder, it's very hard to concentrate and very hard to remember the things. Often the individuals feel brain fog, and the communication is getting reduced, and they might easily get irritated, and there are lots of mood swings. Sleep disturbance, that is the primary impact. Sleep disturbance, if that is persistent, sleep disturbance causes them to have frequent mood fluctuations, and obviously they will end up in anxiety attack or phobia like social phobia or anticipatory anxiety or panic attacks. That's very intense things. So end up in all those things. So this is basically anxiety.
Okay. So anxiety, you are saying that anxiety is normal, but
Yes.
when anxiety is at certain level where your normal things are getting disturbed or your sleep is getting disturbed, so there are a lot of things that are changing in the
Yes.
life, then it becomes the anxiety disorder. So anxiety
Disorders.
disorder is the main problem, not the anxiety.
Yes,
Anxiety is
exactly.
normal. So,
Anxiety is very normal. Anxiety is just like we are having a brake in our two-wheeler.
okay.
Without brake, yeah, that anxiety is necessary so that we can protect ourselves. Amygdala is given by the nature in our brain to protect ourselves from the danger. So that
Mhm.
is must. But when we falsely perceive that there is a danger when there is really not a danger,
Uh-huh.
then there is a problem.
Okay. This is
Yes.
very a beautiful example. Like it's like a brake. Anxiety
Yes.
is like a brake, and when you push the brake, it means you are,
Yeah.
protecting yourself from the danger.
Exactly. Exactly. But if we keep considering that there is a danger, if you keep on putting the brake, then it is a damage to the engine.
Right.
Just like if you keep on getting anxiety unnecessarily, it is damaging our neurons.
Okay. So when
Yes.
should when one should know like they are getting into the anxiety disorder from the anxiety level, how they can identify it? If
Okay.
somebody want to analyze themselves, because if they'll be knowing that they need help, then definitely that on that time they'll be seeking for the help.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
how,
Yes.
what is that thin line that now this is the right time to approach a professional, because anxiety is normal, but anxiety disorder is not normal.
Yes. Okay. That's a good one actually. So what happens actually in our brain? We have a neurotransmitter called GABA. It's a
GABA.
gamma. No, GABA. Uh, it's a gamma acid. It is a blocker. It is an inhibitor. Okay.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
what it does actually, it just blocks few neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine and oxytocin, like this chemicals. It just blocks. What happens actually when there is a normal anxiety? Yeah, you face it and you talk to some people, or you watch a movie, or have a cup of tea, or sleep. You get it all right. But when you're not able, apart from doing all those things also, you are not able to control your anxiety, then what happens actually, this GABA restricts or inhibits few neurotransmitters like serotonin. So what happens, suddenly it sends a very panic signal to the mind. That means it wants to protect our brain from further damage, so it suddenly stops a few of very basic things to happen to the brain. That happens inside, but outside behaviorally, they literally find that they are about to get a anxiety attack.
Okay.
Palpitation increases, sweat
Mhm.
happens. They find that something is really going to happen to them.
Okay.
So when they perceive in that level, then the individual himself or herself realizes that I need help.
Right, right.
I need help. Otherwise, in our family or friend circle,
Hmm.
before it goes until the GABA level, when some person is in anxiety level, the friends themselves only or family members themselves only, they will guide to the person that you are not normal, you are not behaving well, something is disturbing you, better check with some professionals.
Right, right. So when you find out these symptoms in your body or leading to the panic attack, or
Yes,
you're in very much fear inside you, so this is the
yes,
right time to approach a professional.
yes, yes.
Okay. So I also want to ask you, like, if in case
Yeah.
a person is in the anxiety attack,
Okay.
right? For example, the person find himself in the position that now there is something which is not normal, and
Okay.
there's an attack. So the sudden palpitation is increasing, blood pressure is increasing,
Hmm.
heartbeat is increasing. So everything get increased and everything is get chocked for some time. So it's
Yeah.
attack,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
anxiety attack, panic attack. So
Yeah.
at that time, what are the steps that person can take, or if anybody around that person, any family member, what they can do at that time, what is the immediate help that can be taken at that time? So what are your thoughts?
Yeah. That it's actually the right question at the right time. Yes. Proper question actually. This actually, I have lots of patients having anxiety attacks and panic attacks. They are having it. So usually I guide this only to the family members as well as to the patients. So what happens actually when panic attack happens, the GABA it creates a brain fog, and it finally sends a danger signal to the sympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system is responsible for perceiving the danger and protect how much ever possible to protect. There are two responses in this regard. One is fly and fight.
Yeah,
What happens now actually, the patients will try to fly. They want to run away from the problem.
right.
But they cannot realize that the problem is just within themselves. Even they go to moon, the problem is just standing next to them.
They
So
cannot run away with that
they
problem.
cannot run away from the problem. So the 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 final and very important guidance to them now, that the family members, just you can just comfort them. And if already, if the person is going for any treatment, if that person is given any anti-anxiety medicines like clonazepam and diazepam varieties, you can just give them and allow them to experience the anxiety.
Hmm.
And we should not try to stop the anxiety. The how much ever you talk, they will pick up that words and statements. They will pile up in their own false perceptual ideas. They will keep on increasing the panic. So better the family members take courage and stand, because it's not life threatening condition. That person is not going to die now.
Hmm.
The family members can just stand by, just comfort them and allow them to experience the anxiety until it subsides. It might last for 10 minutes to half an hour, but after that it cannot last.
Okay, so you are saying that acceptance, that yes,
Acceptance.
you are being anxious and anxiety attack is there. This is anxiety. So not
Yes, this
running
is
away from the problem, but accepting the problem. So this will make the
yes.
difference on the
Yes,
spot.
exactly. Now, what happens actually when they face the problem?
Mhm.
And now, see, the mode is actually to fight, not to fly. As I told you, fly and fight, mode is to fight.
Right.
But now, when they're having an anxiety attack, we cannot ask them to fight. But we can work middle way. That means between fly and fight, we can
Mhm.
ask them to accept and experience it. At least something is better than nothing. If there are three steps, we are making them to stand on the second step.
Okay.
Once when they're out of the panic attack, then we can make them to think and behave and work on the third step, so that next time when they get panic attack, they
Mhm.
will be conscious enough, brain fog will be less. So when these messages, when we send to the GABA will reduce the inhibition. So serotonin will come out and it will transmit to other section of the neurons. They will feel comfortable even without anti-anxiety medicines.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So this mechanism will happen if we'll accept immediately anxiety, if we'll
Yes.
fight. So this is the meaning of fight according to you. The midway, the
Yes.
second step.
Ye- Yes. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. So this is the step they can take. Okay. So there are a lot of students, psychology students as well, or people who are in the process of becoming counselor. They are also watching this conversation.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
on behalf of them, I have a question.
Okay.
The question is like, what are the possible solutions being a counselor, being a
Uh,
therapist, being a counselor, being a therapist, what are the possible solutions for the anxiety that you
okay.
do on your clients?
Okay. Fine. See, the fundamental thing is actually we need to study the individual appropriately first.
Okay.
And anxiety disorder is it's a kind of subjective.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it is not it than objective. It is more subjective because we call that. See, we have, for example, the neuron development stops at the age of 25, and the neuron development, the neurological development will be more. Brain development will be more after 14 years. Okay, within this limit, from 14 to 25, if patients are having anxiety disorder or anxiety attacks, then
Okay.
they are having a kind of network they have already created in their brain by using the prefrontal lobe. So when that is working, what happens actually, they are the overthinking pattern or the inappropriate ideology about life or false perceptions or false beliefs, those are all the things only are causing this. Okay, so within that limit, 14 to 25, your efforts are quite less. Need not to so much take it seriously, because we can rearrange or we can reframe the network in the brain. If it is possible, if I'm getting some other session, I can explain how the brain network is created, but I will just simplify here. So the counselors or psychologists, the students, what I can do, they have to find that or the patients from 14 to 25 years of age. If the patients are in that range, they can help them to cope up with the anxiety by giving the behavioral modifications and making their thought process or their belief pattern with respect to more reality, maximum reality.
Mm-hmm.
So we can help them. But after 25 years of age, that is according to our Western psychiatrist principles or scientific study. But according to Indian study like Veda Vedanta and all those things,
Mm-hmm.
we consider 30 to 35 years of old age. So with this age limit, the counselors have to take little more seriously. Why? Because it might be because of organic reasons, maybe because of hereditary, or
Mm-hmm.
because of any specific trauma might have happened in their life, or they are persistently in contact with any death, or like people are ill, those conditions they are in that conditions, like we can even take it corona lockdown conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So it is more subjective than the age between 14 to 25. So we need to study proper background of the patients, and we need
Mm-hmm.
to find where is the root cause, the trigger, the primary trigger for that, and we need to start working from there. So for that, we need to use behavioral therapy, and we need to also help them to for introspection, and they have to do introspection for the patients, and with proper relaxation techniques, and talking to them with concernly, at the same time strictly, it will work out for them.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So you are saying first they need to understand the patient in depth because every
Yes,
individual is different. And
different.
then on the basis of the age, they need to identify the possible ways, possible
Yes,
solutions that they can apply, like behavior
yes,
therapy you are talking about.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. I also want to know that what kind of anxiety disorders are there? Do we have different anxiety disorders, or is just one generalized anxiety disorder is there?
See, uh, practically talking, there is one anxiety. It's like just like a water.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if consider that in a cup I have a water, that means in my mind the water is like an anxiety. It is there, and if I add a color, like if I add a blue color, then it becomes a blue water. If I add a green color, it becomes a green water.
Right.
So on the basic anxiety, what concept that person is applying, that creates the differences of that means for the branches of anxiety. So if a person is overthinker, or he is quite very disturbed with uncertainty with how to talk with people, or how to go out and talk with others. So his ideology is with people and society. So he's adding that ideology on that water, which means a
Mm-hmm.
basic anxiety. Now that water reacts to his idea, that becomes social anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Now the same person, if he thinks that, okay, I am okay, basically if I wake up I feel anxiety, that means how to handle today, how to write something, how to go talk to my father, how to go talk to my teachers, or how I'm supposed to do in my life, everything, if it is anxiety for him, like his ideology is that everything is difficult task in life, what to do. It might look very simple in his mind that he's thinking this statement, but that is definitely working on something, as I told, a normal anxiety, which is always existing in all people.
Right.
So that anxiety, it mirrors it, and it shows that generalized anxiety.
Right. Social anxiety and general anxiety.
Generalized anxiety, yes. And something called anticipatory anxiety, like a person who is actually he expects that something wrong will happen at a stipulated time, like after a few days or few years, because something happened to some people in that even number, because their ideologies, even number years, something happened to them or something
Right.
happened. So
Mm-hmm.
next leap year something will happen,
Hmm.
or they might expect panic attack, or they might expect that something might happen. That means they're visualizing something negatively, which is not necessary and which is not realistic. So it becomes anticipatory anxiety.
Anticipatory anxiety.
Yes, anticipatory anxiety. When the anxiety is coupled with mood swings,
Mm-hmm.
drastic mood swings, that person is likely to become borderline personality or bipolar. So yeah, they might end up in maniac sometimes. It might go to that range. I'm telling extreme end for the anxiety.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
And can it also lead to some other mental health disorders like depression
Yes,
or other things?
definitely, definitely. Why? Because anxiety. See, for example, if there is a reality and unreality. For example, if really there is a snake in my house,
Mm-hmm.
really snake in my house, yeah, I will solve the problem, because really there is a problem existing. I'll call people or try to do something, take the snake out and just let
Right.
it go. I will try to do that. But what if I imagine and believe that? I ask this because most of the anxiety people having this statement always, what if? Underline the word what if.
What if?
In English, that weird word what if, that means, what if, that means it is not real, but what if it
Imaginary.
happens? Yeah, imaginary. They
Mm-hmm.
keep on asking that question, what if I have a snake in my house? And that imagination, you cannot solve the problem. A real problem can be solved, but
Right.
imaginary problem, even you take 100 years after, you will not solve it. So when people are keep on trying with imaginary problems and getting anxiety again, 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 when they are not able to solve the problem, then they are likely to enter into depression because they are not able to do it.
Right.
Yeah. Now it divides, the same energy divides into two factors. One is anxiety, another is depression. And if the same symptoms are persisting with furthermore false beliefs, then they end up in bipolar.
Right. So different mental health disorder can be, a person can lead to mental health disorders different
Yes,
from
yes,
anxiety
definitely.
only.
Definitely. Because anxiety is one of the main culprits in major disorders like bipolar, schizophrenia, and borderline, and all those things. Major culprit. And also OCD. OCD also a major culprit.
Okay. Mr. Mani, one thing I have observed, like in Counsel India, like we are, psychologists are doing a lot of counseling sessions, and we are also having a lot of courses for people. So one thing I have noticed, suddenly from past few years, there are a lot of people,
Okay.
students who are IS aspirants.
Oh,
They
okay.
are seeking psychology. They are looking to learn psychology. They want help, right? So I'm asking this question to you because you have been into that field. I'm asking
Yes.
this question because you have experience of those things. You have prepared for IAS, right? So
Yes.
what do
Yes.
you
Yes.
think? How much importance psychology is in the life of an IAS aspirant?
Oh. Practical question. Good. Appreciate that. Good. Yeah, true. Why? Because during civil service preparation, the requirement from the UPSC board is too high. The extension and the limit of the horizon of the syllabus is too wide and vast. And it does not mean that they will ask from the syllabus only. They will even go apart from the syllabus. They will ask. It means a person should know every possible things about his country and his environment.
Right.
It starts from even history, geography, statistics, and value system, and integrity and ethics, and everything, and constitution and current affairs is an ocean. It means that simply they are going to cross the limits of their mind. As I told it, stress starts once when you cross the limit of your mind. They are going to cross, and after crossing also, they know that it is troubling them, but still they continue the same stress. So because of that, what happens actually, they suddenly feel the decrease of their potency in learning and understanding and maintaining the stable, that means the balance in their mind. Suddenly I can even use psychiatric terms here. It's like the cerebellum will just wants to relax, but we are not allowing it to relax. So what happens actually, they really get completely fed up, and they can see that they are not able to perform well in studies. They're not covering the syllabus. So obviously, but they have a high ambition. They have always imagined themselves that they are the IS officer or collector, DC or IPS or something. They're serving. They're coming in the car, and they are being respected by the people, doing good, and all this imagination. So their imagination expectations are meeting the reality what they're having stressful studies, so they need now help. So
Right.
that's why they come. But you can see that people who are from the civil service who prepare, they're coming for learning psychology and making it as a profession.
Mm-hmm.
Basically they feel that it might help them first, in first way, it might help them to come out from few depression or anxiety or stress. And uh, obviously they wanted to serve people somehow, give an impact or influence people's life for their betterment. So that's what they have been working on. So psychology is again another chance for them to execute that ambition.
Right. Right. So
Yes.
do you think that these people should also learn basics of psychology so that they can manage themselves, their study, their mind?
It I would suggest that yes, they have to learn the basics of psychology, and how behavior, especially if they know behavioralism.
Right.
And obviously they should know the conditioning, classical conditioning, all those things, fundamentals, they should know it. But
Hmm.
especially behavioralism, if they know it, it is very good for them actually. If they know it, and if they integrate all the knowledges,
Hmm.
and if they imbibe with their personality, and as I told that creating a network in the brain, if they add these factors in their network of the brain, then something we call pruning in our brain. That means pruning is nothing but when our ages are added, the brain activity will become less. That growth of the brain is development of the brain is reducing. So it means that the person is getting matured. He is becoming matured person. So adding these psychological principles in their network and behavioralism, and for their mannerism or personality, whatever we call, it will make them again a well qualified people to serve people.
Right.
Definitely.
So to serve better, psychology will help them. They should learn
Yes,
psychology.
definitely. Yes, yes.
Well, that's really nice. I have one more question from you is
Yeah.
I have seen obviously your profile is quite vast. You have also
Okay.
done neuropsychology. You have also studied neuropsychology, right?
That means,
Yeah,
yeah, it's diploma in neuroscience and
right,
neuroanatomy.
right. And you have also studied clinical psychology, counseling psychology,
Yes, yes.
right? So, what is the major difference between both? Because nowadays there are a lot of students who are coming up with different ideas, learning neuropsychology, forensic psychology. There's a lot of branches
Yeah.
nowadays. So, what is the difference you see in clinical psychology and neuroscience, neuropsychology, and how and at what point they are connected?
Yeah, that's yeah, very nice question. Good. So now, see, psychology is based on observations, no doubt. When we use the term psychology, it's based on observations that earlier. See, nowadays, maybe in this century, in this century or last century, science is developed, so we are able to do that means imaging of the brain. That means we
Mhm.
use electro imaging, scanning, CT scan, MRI, and all those things. So, and also EEG. With all those apparatus, we are able to study the brain. So how it reacts for each situation, even in sleep, in deep sleep or REM movement time, or even people are when they're having sex. Also, people have read the brain with the help of all this apparatus. But earlier we didn't have.
Right,
So purely, but human, we are living, we have something called brain, mind, emotion is there, and it is creating trouble. So people started studying human mind. So that's where we ended in psychology. That it's purely observation and study. They tried maximum to bring under the purview of science. And yeah, that's why we had a branch of MS psychology and MSc psychology. But
right.
if you see the syllabus is both, no doubt, both are same.
Mm-hmm.
But some universities consider it's arts and some universities consider it's science.
Right.
Why it is considered science? Because the possibility of studying the brain and neurological systems.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what brought a more clear picture on psychology. So it's a neuroanatomy is nothing but studying how as I told now that anxiety I told that it's whenever we meet uncertainty, then it just get triggered. But if you consider neurologically, see, we have prefrontal lobe. Prefrontal
Right.
lobe only is the reason is the is the place where we do working. We have working memory. We do analyzing, calculating, planning, organizing, controlling. All those things are happening, right? And actually, anxiety trigger happens here, prefrontal lobe only, because we get our trigger from here, and we send a message to the amygdala. Amygdala is a portion in the brain, and that sends a signal to the sympathetic nervous system that there is a danger. So, why we need neuroanatomy? Because for medication purposes, because we need to know that what medicines to be given for them. If because earlier, yeah, we had severe psychological issues like people when they had schizophrenia, when they start listening something unusual which other people don't listen, when they start seeing something, people consider that they are possessed. They started beating them and put them in asylum. Even they were arrested in few countries. They were arrested, kept in jail. When psychiatry started evolving, there was even an anti-psychiatry movement, because
Okay.
you are what you are against. You are against ethics. How can you study the brain? How can you break the brain and see the people? They convinced that no, it's all science and we have imaging technique and we can study. They studied in each and everything, like how the peripheral nervous system, automatic nervous system, brain is working, and what chemicals are working. And for that, nowadays we are having very sophisticated and very easy medicines for each chemicals as well, with very less side effects and very less side effects, and also people will not get addictive very easily, and we can withdraw the medicines very easily as well. So this is the difference. Psychology is the life, what we do. Everybody inborn, they know psychology. But when you give a special attention and when you properly focus on it, classify one behavior, and when we study it, yeah, there we get knowledge of psychology. That's we call ourselves psychologists. And when you go much more deep inside that, why some sound is coming from my CD? So I am trying to test my CD, that what is happening on the CD. That is neurology. Both together can give an excellent solution for the patients, which I am successfully doing it. I use both.
Mr. Mani, that is really, really nice that you have studied both, and obviously it shows in the results.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Mani, let's move forward to the end of this session, this talk show. So my next question from you is, what are the 3 things that you do in your daily life to keep yourself mentally healthy?
The first thing, but you limited me with 3 things, right? No, it limited
Okay,
me with three
you can tell me more things, no problem. That'll
yeah.
be good. Yeah.
Yeah. The one primary thing what I take, first thing actually, I don't take my life seriously.
Okay. Seriously?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I don't take my life seriously, but I take my life sincerely. That's enough.
Okay.
I take my life sincerely. That I sincerely I do that, but I don't take seriously. The first thing. And second thing, don't expect so much thing from others.
Have less
And
expectations.
yes, others. If you want something from others,
Hmm.
first think that can you do that without them?
Hmm.
How much ever possible, do that. Then remaining portion, a few portion which definitely others can do it, assign that to them without regret. Easily they will finish with a smile and they will still be friends with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
First,
The
try to
third
think that
one,
what you can do, and then take help
yes,
other people. Yeah.
yes. And the third one, actually, it is my biggest experience and lesson what I have learned in my life so far. That
Hmm.
the word I usually teach to my patients as well, IGNO or E, ignore.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ignore.
it looks a very small statement that if really something is really bothering you, you should know how to ignore it. That's a biggest skill we have to learn, even a psychologist and we too. And if you know how to ignore it, then your mind suddenly becomes free, independent. It got freedom. So it will just support you for wherever you go.
Ignore.
Yes, ignore.
Okay.
And fourth one, sleep well.
Sleep well.
Yes.
At least 6 to 7 hours.
Yeah, 6 to 7 hours. Maximum 8 hours is good. Yeah, it depends on how your system that day.
Person to person.
And daily at least have one physical activity, be it Surya Namaskar or just a mild walking, or you just clean your bathroom or just something, something do it. And one more very, very important thing what I follow is actually be simple.
Be simple.
Be simple, yes. So when you're simple, mind's active brain activity is quite less, intensity is less. So it is now very open to understand the truth of our existence as it is. When we perceive everything of the life as it is, there is no disorders. There is only liberation and happiness. That's all.
Being simple means accepting everything, whatever is there, as it is.
Yes. Yes. Actually, I can tell in a vice versa. That means I want this to happen. That means I want to accept as it is the life, understand the life as it is, and accept life as it is. I want this to happen. In order to this to happen, I don't have choice except being simple. I have to be simple. Then this is possible. I can tell this way. Yes.
Then everything is simple because you are
Yes.
simple.
Yes. I don't even wear any ornament. I don't wear any chain or anything. Just I have one Rudraksh. So,
And that Rudraksh is simple.
yes.
Making is simple. Okay.
That is also therapeutic actually. If I get a chance to talk to you guys one more time, I
Mm-hmm.
can talk that how other way of therapies we can use that. We have Ayurvedic therapy,
Hmm.
all those things and all we can use for anxiety and other things, so that we can really live happily.
Yeah, I
Yes.
got the idea that you have a lot of things to tell. Yeah, got this.
Yes.
Okay. So one advice for
Yeah.
our viewers, one advice you would like to give from your end.
Oh, that's a great privilege and opportunity for me to convey this. Uh, yeah. Don't consider that I'm your senior or someone. Just consider me that I'm your friend, and please take my. It's not advice. It's just a sharing of my vision. Okay.
Okay.
See, most of the people are coming to the field of psychology. Psychology is a field you cannot see more money first.
Right.
Yeah, everybody know it. But
Mm-hmm.
still, something is making you to bind and make you sit and listen and do and help people. Hats up to that, because that is what that's what shows who you are. So I have always have one idea that see, we are Indians. We are so much rich in psychology, manovijnana. We are so
Right.
rich in it. Vedanta, and we have even Dhammapada from Buddha and Bhagavad Gita, everything. Bhagavad Gita is a text of fully psychology. It's a CBT. It's a text of CBT, we can tell. Because Arjuna got panic attack, and the therapist was Krishna.
Krishna.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you read one by one, we are very rich in our spirituality and psychology, but uh, Western people in recent decades and or recent century, they found something and they call themselves that they are the father of psychology and all those things. Right, and we are also blindly believing that welcome bird, the father of psychology and Freud. Yes, we have lots of knowledge in what Sigmund Freud has spoken, what Skinner told. We have lots of things. I
Right.
want you to guys to just please read and learn few things from Bhagavad Gita and all those things, and connect psychology with that, and let us develop new variety therapies. Let us create therapies. We
Right.
are rich. We will, because I have in 2020 I had created a therapy called ICT,
Okay.
introspective counseling therapy. I created, it's in Udemy now.
Okay.
I have trained few guys in that also. I have given certificates to them as well. So it is introspective counseling therapy. It's basically the patients feel so difficult to introspect within themselves. It is very difficult. So we, the psychologists, should help them how to introspect with our help. So let us please, guys, please come up and create new therapies by applying whatever you learn from psychology. Let us add on, and the future world, let it call that Indian psychology.
Yes.
Yes.
Very motivating for Indian students.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I really like the concept of being simple and
Yes.
come up with some creativity.
Yes.
This is really nice. This is what I have liked personally with from the conversation. Though I like a lot of points, but I would like to highlight these two things. So
Okay.
Simply, we are telling things to the people to become very simple.
Yes. True. True.
Mr. Money, few words about Counsel India.
Yes. So I have read long back on the Council India. But when I started giving my, that means register in Council India, then to be frank, I got call from a patient. Then I just went. Then I did not come back. Then again, I don't know. Somewhere in my mind, I thought that Council India. Yes, I was registering. Yes, let me. Then again, I got back there and I registered, and I really appreciate the network what Council India has created and has been creating. And it is, as I told in my last vision, that we should be in that there should be Indian psychology that should be the leading. This is one of, there are lots of things working in India for psychology, and Council India is one of the important emerging things is working in India. And I know that it will be one of the important factor for our vision of that psychology from India to all
Right.
over the world, and this will be one of the important factor for it. And my hearty congratulations to that, and my support is always there with Council India.
Thank you so much, Mr. Money. Thank you so much for your blessings.
Yes, yes,
Definitely, we have a very big client base, and definitely Indian people, psychology from India. Definitely, it is, we people are now going to tell everybody,
yes.
the whole world, about Indian psychology. And yes, Counsel India is obviously helping in your vision ultimately.
Yeah, the word is there now already. Council India
Counsel
is
India.
there. Yes,
Yeah.
that's a beautiful word. Yes.
Mr. Mani, thank you so much. It was
Yeah.
really nice talking to you. And thank you so much for your time. And definitely, we have discussed so many things till now. We have talked about anxiety disorders, symptoms, and possible solutions, and some creative things, some new things. Your personal thoughts about how keep yourself mentally fit.
Right.
And definitely, through this conversation, there are a lot of people who got really good things.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So thank you so much. And thank you so much, viewers, for connecting with us. And if you have any question, you want to ask anything from Mr. Money, you can write to us. And also, if you feel something good from this session, you can also tell us in the comment box that you like the most this thing. And you can thank to Mr. Money for that.
I'm really blessed. I'm blessed to have this session today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Good night. Bye bye.
Good
Take
night.
care.
Good night.